I think we all know that the capital of Spain is Madrid, but there was a time it wasn't Spain's capital. Actually, a city about 67 kilometers or 42 miles away is considered the first Spanish capital. Toledo is a historic city that dates back from before the Roman times. As an estimate, Toledo has more than 2,000 years of existence. It has lived through a plethora of major historical events. Anyone can see that this city belongs to a completely different era and it has so many stories to be told. Visiting the city will transport you to medieval times and allow you to experience life under the Spanish Empire. Let's learn about the different ways of arriving in the imperial city. The most common way to arrive in Toledo is by train. Trains to Toledo leave from Madrid Atocha train station, located in Madrid's Arganzuela district. Madrid Atocha is the oldest and busiest train station in Spain that sees over 115 million passengers per year. The train ride that connects these cities takes about 34 minutes. There are 15 daily train services on weekdays, whereas during weekends there are 10 daily services. The first train leaves Madrid at 6:45 a.m. on weekdays and at 8:15 a.m. on weekends. The last return train departs at 9:30 p.m. on both weekdays and weekends. As of March 2025, the ticket usually costs €13.90 for a one-way and €22.20 for a round-trip ticket. I have linked the Renfe website where you can buy the tickets in the description box. Toledo train station is located outside of the walled city of Toledo. To get to the historic center, you will have to walk or take the bus. The bus routes that take you from the train station to the city center are L61, L62, and L511. Getting there by bus will take about 8 minutes and cost €1.40 per trip. The walk to the walled city takes about 23 minutes and allows you to retrace the steps that many others took in the past. Either way you choose to get to the city center, it will be a breathtaking experience because admiring the outside of the walled city is as amazing as being inside of it. Trains from other major cities will stop at Atocha, and you will have to transfer to the Toledo train. There are no direct trains to Toledo from anywhere else besides Madrid. Another option when getting to Toledo is the bus. Buses are operated by Alsa, a company that has bus services to several Spanish cities. These buses depart from Plaza Elíptica Transport Hub, located in Madrid's Carabanchel district. At Plaza Elíptica, you can find a metro station which is serviced by lines 6 and 11 of the Madrid Metro, and a bus station serviced by several short and long-distance bus routes. The bus ride from Madrid to Toledo takes about 50 minutes. However, you have to be aware which bus you're getting on, since there are direct and non-direct buses. The ticket for either has the same price, but there is a difference on how long each bus takes. The non-direct bus takes 1 hour and 30 minutes to reach Toledo, almost double what a direct bus takes. Unfortunately, the ALSA website only provides a very confusing timetable file that is in Spanish, so I would say the best way to check which bus is a direct one is by checking Google Maps. If you filter Google Maps by buses only, you will get the direct buses times only. Regardless, buses run from 6:30 a.m. to 12 a.m. during weekdays and from 7 a.m. to 12 a.m. on weekends. An open round-trip ticket costs €6.39, but one must return the same day. If you're staying more than one day, you will have to buy another ticket for the day you are returning. The bus arrives at Toledo bus station that is located 2 kilometers away from the city center. Getting to the walled city takes about the same time as from the train station. By foot it takes 22 minutes, and by bus it takes between 8 and 12 minutes. Bus routes to stop at the bus station and can take you to walled city are L5 and L12. Just like the trains, buses to Toledo all originate in Madrid. In case you're coming from another city, you will have to make your way to Plaza Elíptica and then grab the bus to Toledo. There is only one option when arriving to Toledo by air travel: Adolfo Suárez Madrid-Barajas Airport. Madrid's airport is the closest one to the city, located about 80 kilometers or 50 miles away from Toledo. To be honest, this airport is the only viable option when visiting Toledo, since flying into any other major Spanish city will mean you have to get to Madrid anyways and then head to the city. For example, arriving in Barcelona or Seville means that you need to grab a train to reach Madrid Atocha and then get on the train to Toledo that I previously mentioned. Thankfully, Madrid-Barajas is Spain's major and busiest airport. It is a hub for Iberia, Air Europa, plus Ultra Líneas Aéreas, and World to Fly. and an operating base for Iberojet and Ryanair. Therefore, try to book your flight to Madrid Barajas when visiting Toledo. Driving from the airport to Toledo will take you about 55 minutes. Although you can take a taxi or an Uber, it will cost anywhere from €100 to €130. Thus, the best way to get to Toledo is by taking the bus or the train. Remember that buses depart from Plaza Elíptica Transport Hub and trains from Madrid Atocha train station. Grabbing a taxi to Plaza Elíptica will cost between €35 and €45 and take about 18 minutes. Taxis to Atocha station have a fixed rate of €30 and take about 16 minutes. Actually, all taxi rides to a destination inside the M30 zone have a fixed rate of €30. Uber also operates in Madrid, and most of the time the fares tend to be cheaper. Alternatively, you can take public transportation to reach either place. For Plaza Elíptica, it can be a little bit tricky, as there is no direct nor easy way to get there by metro or bus. Either option will take at least 50 minutes, but in my opinion, the metro is the least worst option of the two. There are two metro stations, one located at Terminal 4, another one located at Terminal 2, that service Terminals 1, 2, and 3. Line 8 is the only line that services the airport, so to get to Plaza Elíptica, you will need to make a transfer. Take Line 8 to Nuevos Ministerios station, and then transfer to Line 6 that goes directly to Plaza Elíptica Transport Hub. Any metro ticket that starts or ends at the airport has an additional charge of €3. Thus, single tickets that usually cost €2 will cost €5 at the airport. One thing I want to mention is that when traveling with a family, it is best to get a 10-trip card. A 10-trip card can be used by several people as long as they are all making the same trip from start to finish. This means that a family of 4 that is going from A to B can tap the same card 4 times for each one to get into the metro. After reaching their destination, 6 more trips will still be left in the card. 10-trip cards have a base rate of €6.10, but remember the airport fee must be added to the card when purchased. Buses to Plaza Elíptica take about 50 minutes, but it requires you to take at least 2 buses or that you combine a bus ride and a metro ride. Single bus tickets cost €1.50 per trip. All that being said, I advise you to just get a taxi or an Uber, as it will be the least frustrating option. Now, in order to reach Atocha station, the best option is to take the bus. Yes, taxis are the fastest option, but also the most expensive. While the taxi fare to Plaza Elíptica is worth it, to get to Atocha it might be a waste of some extra bucks. Madrid Airport has an express bus line to the city that runs for 24 hours and only costs €5 per person. Bus 203 goes from each of the airport terminals to Atocha station and the Cibeles area in the center of Madrid. The trip takes between 30 and 40 minutes depending on which terminal you depart from. Tickets are paid when hopping on the bus either by cash or with a card on the contactless terminals on board. This is the best option in my opinion, and the longer time travel can be disregarded by the considerably cheaper price. The metro is definitely not an option, as taking it will be a longer and more complicated ordeal than getting to Plaza Elíptica. Or even worse, you will have to deal with despised Cercanías trains. Finally, you can get to Toledo by driving. Although it's not the most common option, it avoids having to deal with any delays or cancellations. Driving allows you to get to Toledo on your own terms and at whatever time you want to. The drive from Madrid takes about 55 minutes via Autovía A42. As you can see, the drive takes longer than the train, which makes it a less appealing option. Plus, if you add the gas prices, the trip can get quite expensive. I think I would only recommend driving to Toledo to big families or to someone that is coming from another major city apart from Madrid. In those cases, the train or bus will be more expensive than renting a car and just driving there. Yet, be mindful of where you are driving from, because it might be extremely longer. For example, driving from Madrid to Toledo will take about 7 hours, when you can do the same trip in about 3 hours and 15 minutes by train. Toledo is one of Spain's most historic cities, arguably maybe even more than Madrid. It is a city that is stuck in the past by its own volition. It thrives by being a great way to transport yourself to a different era, a time that we only hear about in history books and in movies. There is no way you can pass on visiting Toledo when you are in Spain. I mean, think about it. How many times will you be able to live as if you were in the Middle Ages? Whether that be a long stay or maybe just a day trip, you need to head to the Imperial City. Hopefully, this video has helped you to figure out how to get to Toledo, or at least you enjoyed watching it. If you have any questions, please write them in the comment section and I will try to answer them. Consider subscribing and leaving a like. God bless you and have a great day.